Today we're going to be making an Easter wreath using the crocodile stitch and multicolored yarn. So let's begin. We have our 10-inch wreath ring. We're going to be using worsted weight yarn. We're going to go ahead and start with pink. And what we're going to do is basically do our crocodile stitch around and around the wreath so that it looks something like this one here. See the scales of the crocodile stitch? So let's first take our yarn and we are going to chain 24. I'm using my H hook and the worsted weight yarn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay? And what we're going to do is join it around here with a slip stitch into our first chain. So let's just slip stitch right in here. Okay. Now you see how this is loose? That's going to be okay because this is going to help you work your stitches around it. You don't want it too tight where you can't grab your yarn or stick your crochet hook into it. And again, as you're going around, this is going to help move it back and forth. Okay? So for the crocodile stitch, the first thing we want to do is build our first foundation row. And what we're going to do is chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That's going to represent our first double crochet. And then in that same stitch, do a double crochet. Okay, so then we're going to chain 2 and we're going to double crochet. We're going to skip 2 chains, and in the next chain we're going to do 2 double crochets. So 1, 2, chain 2, skip 2, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2. I'm going to put you on pause while I loosen my yarn here. Okay, so we're going to continue making our foundation row. We just chained 2. We're going to skip 2 and do 2 doubles in the next chain. 1, 2, chain 2, 2 doubles, skip 2 chains, 2 doubles in the next chain, chain 2, skip 2, 2 doubles, chain 2, skip 2, 2 doubles in our next chain, chain 2, skip 2, 2 doubles in our next, chain 2. Okay. Now if you look at what we've made is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's actually 8 sets of 2 double crochets. That's going to be our foundation row for our crocodile stitch. So now what we're going to do is slip stitch to that first double crochet, which was our chain 3, to join. So let's just slip stitch, And from here we're going to start our crocodile stitches. Now remember the crocodile stitch, we're going to do a croc stitch here. We're going to skip a set of doubles, croc stitch in the next set of doubles, skip the next set of doubles. That way we have that alternating look of the crocodile scales. So we're going to do 2 rows of each color. If you want to take a peek at one of them I'm working on right now to see how it looks. So we're going to do 2 rows of pink, 2 rows of lavender, 2 rows of green, and so on. So this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. So let's go ahead and make our first croc stitch. So I'm going to chain 3 to represent my first double. And down this first post I'm going to make 4 more doubles for a total of 5 double crochets. Okay, so I have 5 double crochets coming down this post. I'm going to chain 1 and then do 5 double crochets coming back this next post to represent my first crocodile stitch. Okay, so chain 1, turn my work a little, and then I'm going to do 5 doubles in this next chain 2 post, this next double crochet post. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets, and I'm going to end with a chain 1. So here is our first crocodile stitch. Because there's 8 sets of posts, we're going to end up with 4 croc stitches per row. So we're going to do 3 more crocodile stitches in pink here, as soon as I can untangle my yarn. Okay, so first croc stitch, skip the next set of double crochets, and in the third set of double crochets here I'm going to do 5 double crochets down this first post. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a single crochet. Chain 1. So 5 double crochets, chain 1, 5 double crochets up the next post, and chain 1 for each croc stitch. So here's our next set of 5 double crochets up the second post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1. So there's our 2 croc stitches. Again, if you notice, this is really loose here, but this helps when you work your work, and you won't tell how loose it is once you've made several rows of your crocodile stitches. So let's finish off this row. Skip the next set of double crochets, and in that 5th set we're going to do another crocodile stitch. So 5 double crochets down the first post. Chain 1, 5 double crochets up the second post of that set. Chain 1, so there's our 3rd croc stitch. Skip the next set of double crochets, and in the 7th set here we're going to make another croc stitch. So 5 double crochets down that post. chain 1, 5 double crochets up the second post, chain 1. So there I have it. I've went around one time on it, so I'm back to the beginning where my first crocodile stitch is. So what I want to do here is join these 2 croc stitches. That way I have my first round. So what I'm going to do is stick this in the space between my first and second double crochet post on this first croc stitch. And then I'm going to stick it down the center of this skipped double crochet on my foundation row. So I got my loop, the first croc stitch, and then the double crochets on that foundation chain. I'm just going to slip stitch those together. I'm going to chain 3 because I need to build my next foundation row. So in the space of the skipped double crochet, I'm going to do one more double, and then I'm going to chain 2. Okay, and this is similar to our foundation row that we made for our first double crochet. So for those of you who are familiar with the crocodile stitch, okay, so we're going to do 2 double crochets in the center of this crocodile stitch. 1, 2, chain 2, and then in the skipped double crochet post here, we're going to do 2 double crochets. 1, 2, chain 2. In this next crochet crocodile stitch, 2 double crochets, chain 2. And remember, when we're going into this double crochet here that's part of our foundation row, we're going to go under this croc stitch right here. This is the chain 1 between the croc stitches, because we want them to come together and anchor each row. So I'm going under that chain 1 between the croc stitches, and then I'm going through the center of that double crochet right there. I'm doing 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2, another set of doubles in this croc stitch, chain 2, a set of doubles in the skipped chain 2 space, 1, 2, chain 2, and this next croc stitch, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and now we're back to our beginning. So what I'm going to do is, in that first set of double crochets here, I'm going to just do a slip stitch to anchor them together. And then I'm going to chain 3. That's going to represent the first double crochet going down my double crochets right here. Again, we want the crocodile stitches to alternate, so this is where my next croc stitch is going to be. I'm going to skip this set of doubles, and then I'm going to go on to this set of doubles to do my crocodile stitch. So let's do a couple of those. So I have my chain 3 counting as my first double, so I need 4 more doubles. Then I chain 1. Okay, so there's the first side of my crocodile stitch. Then I want to do 5 double crochets coming up the other side. of my crocodile stitch. I'm sorry, of my double crochet post. Okay. So 1, here, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1. Okay, so there you can see the crocodile stitches. This is my first row of crocodile stitches. I built another foundation row, and now my next row of crocodile stitches are going to alternate. That way we have that scaly look down here. So go ahead and finish this second row of crocodile stitches. Again, remember we're skipping every other set of doubles, and then I will show you how to switch colors and go on to your next color. Okay, so here we are. I've done my second set of croc stitches, and I'm going to join this to my first croc stitch and then add my next color. So I'm doing 2 rows of each color, so you can choose any color you'd like. I chose Easter colors because this is going to be an Easter wreath. So I'm going to slip through the first double here on this first croc stitch of the row, and through the center of this skipped double crochet set of doubles on the foundation row. And I'm just going to pull that through, and before I lock that, I'm going to join my next color here, and then I'll do my 3 single crochets to represent my first double crochet. So basically all I do is just tie this on here. That's how I'm joining the string, since you're not going to see that. I don't have to get fancy with my joining of threads. So I'm going to chain. That was 1 chain just to lock together this last stitch of all these 3 together. So now I'm going to do 3 doubles. Actually, chain 3 to represent my first double. And again, in the center of this double crochet set of doubles in my foundation row, I'm going to do 1 double crochet, chain 2. So now this represents the first set of doubles on my foundation row for my yellow crocodile stitches. So I chain 2. Now in the center of my croc stitch, I'm going to do 2 doubles, chain 2. In that skipped set of doubles, I'm going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2. In the croc stitch, 2 double crochets, chain 2. So what I'm doing is I'm now building my foundation row, but in yellow. For those of you who know how to do the crocodile stitch, it's just alternating the colors. So I will meet you toward the end of the project to see how you're doing. Again, I'm just doing 2 rows of crocodile stitches. Each row has 4 croc stitches in it, and they're alternating. So I will see you at the end of the project. Okay, so here we are just checking in. This is how far I've gotten on this project here. I'm almost done. I'm doing 4 sets of colors. As you can see, I have the pink, yellow, blue, green, and lavender. 5 colors. So I'm actually doing 4 sets of the colors. So I have a set of pink, my second set, my third set, and I'm on my 4th set right now. So you can see there's a big gap here. But what I'm going to do once I'm done with this is I'm going to squeeze it and so that it joins together, and you'll see how that comes out. So for those of you who want to add more crocodile stitches or more colors, you can really adjust how many you need so that you have an even number if you're alternating colors by just squeezing that down. As you can see, I could squeeze that down like that and have plenty of room to do several more rows, or I can stretch it out and show you that I'm actually almost done because I need 2 sets of green Croc stitches and then 2 sets of lavender Croc stitches, and then I'm going to join that like that. And then it's a matter of just spreading out your Croc stitches so that they're all even around your Easter wreath. So now I'm going to join my foundation row here with a slip stitch to my first set of double crochets. Then I'm going to chain 3 to represent my first double crochet. Then I'm going to begin making my first crocodile stitch right here. Again, as you remember, we're alternating rows. My last row of crocodile stitches, so my next croc stitch will be right here. So I've chained 3. Now 4 more double crochets. Chain 1, 5 double crochets coming up the second double crochet post here. Okay, so there's my next crocodile stitch right there. So I'm going to continue around, and I will meet you at the end so we can join up these crocodile stitches and complete our Easter wreath. Have fun! Okay, so now I've finished my last row of lavender croc stitches, and I'm sewing this together. What I've done is I've lined up my crocodile stitches. Remember, these are alternating rows, so if you look at this row, and here, this would be the next row. So I just line these up here with my double crochets. So there's that one. And then if you look here, this one, it goes here right in between these two, so that it's still alternating, and I'm just doing a whip stitch around. Let me find this needle here. So I'm squeezing it together and just doing a whip stitch. So the bottom of this croc stitch right here in between these two, and I'm whip stitching the top row of these lavender croc stitches to the bottom row of the pink croc stitches all the way around. And once we're done with this, you won't be able to see the stitch line because we'll just fluff everything up. Okay? Okay, now that we're done sewing that together, I'm just going to run my hand over this, kind of spread this out so there's not a lot of strain on the seam I just stitched. And it's also to flatten out the croc stitches so they'll lay nicely. So here you go. If you just look around there without this string here, you can't really tell where our seam line is. And then you're done. And there is your Easter wreath.